Welcome to the space. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we are going to be making some buffalo honey wings inspired by Carl's Bad Cravings. I'll leave the link in the description bar. And we are going to start off with some chicken wings. I used about 2 packs, which had about 5 to 6 wings in there. So I'm going to say about 10 to 12 wings I used. I washed it with some lemon, cleaned it, removed all the feathers, and put it in a bowl, okay? Now moving on to our dry and wet ingredients, you're going to need some Frank's Red Hot Sauce. You can also use some buffalo sauce for this as well. I'm using some milk hot honey I got from Trader Joe's. I thought it'd be cool. I've never really used it before. I thought it could add a nice little kick to the recipe. Also some molasses, some bone sucking sauce, and I believe honey as well, which was showed in the previous clip. I'm also going to use some yogurt in there just for digestion, since we're using a lot of spices and a lot of heat. You may be cooking for somebody who has, heartburn, so yogurt will definitely help settle the stomach. Some onion. You also see some red onion, which I did not use. You do not have to use that. I couldn't find my onion in the beginning. Some white pepper, some red pepper, some chicken seasoning, some baking powder, some garlic, chili powder, paprika, brown sugar as well, and also a pan that has been sprayed with Pam spray. I was trying to find my rack, but I couldn't find it. So a replacement, if you can't find your rack that you use to bake chicken wings, you can also use a big foil pan, spray it with some Pam spray, and you're good to go. So right now, we're just adding in all our dry ingredients all together. You're going to make a nice rub. There should be no wet ingredients in this portion. We're using all dry. One tip I want to give you is that with your chicken wings, you definitely want to pat them dry if you want that rub look. So if you don't want any liquid or any type of moisture on your chicken, please pat them dry. I personally didn't pat them dry and I don't mind. So when I did add the dry ingredients to my chicken, it became very moist because there was still some moisturization on the chicken. But again, if you want that nice, real rubbed look, pat your chickens dry before adding in your dry ingredients to your chicken. And now we are going to add our dry ingredients to our chicken, and we're just going to pour it all over it, and then we are going to go in with our hands and mix that all together. We are going to go in with our hands and mix that all together. And you see how my ingredients is becoming a little smoother. It's not sticking to it as a rub would because my chicken was still wet. And we're going to transfer that to the foil pan. Again, if you have a rack, by all means use it. It works 10 times better than a foil pan, but still gives you the same result. But I couldn't find my rack, so this is what I had to use. And we're going to put that in our oven. My oven was at 450 degrees uncovered. Moving on to our sauce while our chicken is baking. Get some butter, put that in your pot over medium high heat, and we are going to wait till our butter is about 90% melted before adding in our Frank's hot sauce. I believe the recipe called for half a cup. I'm using 2/4 cups in there, and I'm measuring this time. I know I typically don't measure, but I'm measuring again because I'm using heat and I'm cooking for other people. I want to make sure that there's a balance between sweetness and heat. So that's why this time I'm being a little more anal and I'm actually measuring things. We're also going to put our honey in there, our hot honey. We're also going to add in our molasses and our bone sucking sauce in there as well. Now we're going to put our yogurt in there, again for digestion purposes. Don't worry if it doesn't all melt out because we are going to add this sauce to our chicken in the oven where it will completely dissolve and bake out. So if you see little tiny white spots, don't freak out. Put our cornstarch in there because we need to thicken this sauce, and it's going to look like this. And now the sauce is complete, and now we can check on our chicken. This is how your chicken should look out the oven. I'm sticking it with a fork to make sure that it's cooked. If your fork is coming out easily, that means your chicken is right there at the finish line. It is almost ready to be pulled out. The chicken is looking good. Now I'm turning it over because I want to add just a little nice overcoat layer of the sauce on top of the chicken and make it bake for a few minutes more before adding the remainder of the sauce on there. So I'm just brushing it over the top lightly, just getting it coated, giving it a nice top layer, putting it back into the oven, and then we're going to add the remainder of the sauce. And now that our chicken has been baked for a few minutes, we are going to pour the rest of the sauce all over the chicken and turn our oven on broil. So this entire time it has been baking, we're going to add in that sauce and just pour it over nicely. And then we are going to put our oven on broil and put this back into the oven to broil and get that nice crisp and a little bit of a burnt look. And feel free to take your tongs and just soak that chicken in the sauce, making sure both front and back gets coated. And there you have it. Buffalo honey wings ready to go. You can serve this with some white rice, with some vegetable, with some salad. Again, this is from Carl's Bad Cravings. I will leave it in the description bar below. And you can definitely do a million things with this. But thank you so much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.